Adventurers make plans. Worlds deal with the fallout. The folks at Good Plans, Bad Dice present a new live play podcast using the Dungeons & Dragons 2024 5e rules. We blend chaos, sincerity, dark moments, and inclusive storytelling. Welcome to the world of Good Plans, Bad Dice.
Previously on Fractured Fables. Against all odds, the party made it into the dining room with only minimal disaster. Hands were shaken, pleasantries exchanged, and everyone was guided to their seats. Very specific seats. The plan? Sit down, eat, ask the right questions, get the information. What could go wrong? Well, a small confrontation with Windeer leaves Ami isolated at the head table, while the rest of the party gets pulled into their own conversations. Too far, too distracted, and too late to help. Now Ami is frustrated, Charlie is confused, Everett is exhausted, and Siddy is just trying to survive while very hungry. So the question is, can the party recover and get the information they need? Or is this dinner about to quietly and spectacularly implode? Find out next on Fractured Fables.
What is everyone doing? You can volunteer the information or I can call on you like a teacher. Your decision.
I will say that Ami is taking her seat, of course, next to Windeer, and she's willing to strike up a conversation just to kind of test the waters. If you want, I can start it. Okay. So, Windeer, thank you for the invitation and for my friend's invitation as well.
She just smiles and says, well, of course, as Silas said, and you kind of see her reach over and hold his hand, and they give each other, once again, a very loving look. And she just says, like, family is important. And after what we went through, it's just something that both he and I remembered the importance of family, and we wanted to have the whole family here. And after a few discussions, he and I together decided that it would be nice if Olivia is able to meet her older sister, and if you're able to meet your younger sister. And being that you don't respond to letters or any type of acknowledgments, I felt this might be the easiest way to make that happen.
That's interesting. Out of curiosity, who by chance is, I'm assuming that was your son,
Your brother.
Okay.
Your
So,
half-brother.
and exactly when did that occur?
What do you mean, when did that occur?
Well, just judging from his age and knowing that father passed 5 years ago, I'm assuming that there must have been some sort of magic that happened that brought him upon, because obviously you wouldn't have cheated on father, now would you?
She kind of like takes like a little bit of a breath in, just like kind of slow and calm. And you hear like Silas look, and you kind of overhear, he's like, Olivia, why don't we go around and say hi to some people while your mom and your sister have a conversation? I think that's best. And because Olivia, like, you can notice she looks kind of confused out of things like that. And Windeer just turns to you as they walk away and very quietly says, while I understand that you've never been one to hold back or be willing to have any conversation in private because you would much rather cause a scene in public, where, please remember, we're in a very large room with a lot of people that can hear very well, so they're overhearing everything. Your father and I slept together exactly 2 times. One of them was when I became pregnant with you, and then my parents forced me to marry your father, and so I did. even though I didn't want to, because my parents did not give me a choice in anything, which this is something I believe you're well aware of. So when I met Silas, years later, he and I began to have a relationship together, one that your father knew about, and we stayed together, so you felt as though you had both parents at home. There is a reason why I went away on a vacation for quite some time, about 22 years ago. It was because I was pregnant with your brother, who then was raised by Silas until after your father passed. I sold the house, and Silas and I were able to get married. Because I finally reached the point that I chose to not let my parents control my life anymore. And while you can be angry with me all you want, I have spent many years working through my issues with my family, and only you can choose to work through the issues of anger that you have. I can't make those decisions for you, but I can ask you very kindly, if not for my sake, but perhaps for Silas, who's never been anything but nice to you, and for your sister's sake, and for the sake of my dead son, that you put some respect in your voice while you are at this dinner with all of us. Because if nothing else, that is the minimum that you can do, as even your father raised you better than that. How dare you? No matter how mad you are at me, you are speaking about someone who died. And I have never dragged your father's name like that. And never would I look at you and drag his name like you just did to my son. I hope that you enjoy your dinner, Ami. I'm going to go find a powder room and clean up. And she just gets up and just like turns and walks off the stage and just like leaves right then and there. And Silas and kind of Olivia and them have already gone back. And I think for everyone, you could kind of hear like some people in the crowd like going and doing like little coughs, or you hear like some glasses kind of clink together and different things like that that happen kind of inadvertently. Ami, you kind of, I don't know if you look around the room or not, or what you do as you are at the table, just kind of you at this moment.
Yeah. So there's food in front of her, correct? Like they've served the meal?
Not yet. This was like they're getting ready to do service. Like people are all seated. So they're like most right now there's been like drinks or whatever kind of dropped around, but that they're getting ready to bring food out. Like you've been to these kind of events before. They're getting ready to start running plates to people and stuff.
I think that if Ami still has her drink left from what Seymour gave me or gave her, same person, she's gonna grab that drink and just like chug it down and be like, can I get another one of these? And she's just gonna kind of like regain her posture and just sit there. And she can look out, but she's gonna have a very high head about the whole thing because she has nothing. She threw her into the situation. She could have told her about this last night. She could have told her about everything, but she was also a very big bitch last night. So that's what I would have liked to have said, but she went to the bathroom. And Ami's not going to follow her because that's exactly what she wants her to do. And she is not going to do that.
Again, for everyone, I did not write Ami's mother. Just want that to be reminded. You'll kind of notice off to your side that a tall, kind of slender woman slender woman, like over at the butt wipes table is kind of leaning over. You can see her kind of whispering in Seymour's ear a bit as they like a server kind of brings up another drink for you, and it's just like, ma'am, same drink as before, and just kind of sits it down and just like sits it down in front of you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Does like the bow, like the over dramatic bow that you always see when people are like,
please don't do that to me. That's them. That's not me. But I thank you for bringing this to me. And then she'll like reach into her little belt thingy thing that she has on and grabs a gold coin and just like, thank you so much. I don't know if they're paying you enough to do this. Probably not, because I know how they are. But here's just and yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing, because I know how hard it is to work for people like this. So
he like stays bowed over and is like, thank you, ma'am. We're not paid by the family. We work for the catering business. That's who pays us our wages. But thank you. And he'll just kind of like almost still bowed over, but not quite, like walk out to like go and kind of get off like the little raised area that is like this table that is now.
Are you guys unionized by chance?
And he just is kind of like, as he says, he's like, of course we're unionized. Isn't everyone in this city in a union now? What? And he's just like looking more concerned and just kind of like turns to go to like the next table to like get drinks and bring drinks to people. And I think while you were talking to him, like you feel like someone sit next to you, and you just hear, "Whew, I'll tell you, in all of my years, it never ceases to amaze me at how fast these parties go downhill. They always do. That's okay."
Hi. As she turns around, and I'm assuming it's Madame Buttwipe.
This was a woman with the tall, dark hair, is kind of there, who came in with them. And she smiles at you. It's like, hello.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Ami. Nice to meet you.
Hi. My name's Septic. I'm Seymour's aunt. I'm his auntie, if you will.
This is a true pleasure to meet you. I am sure that you're very fond of Seymour. He's a very good man. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes. It's very nice to meet you.
Are you? Wait, you said your last name is Buttwipe. So are you Mr. Buttwipe's sister then?
No, I married into the family. Yes, my husband's name is Festering. We call him Fester.
Oh, you guys have such lovely family names. I just seriously, I mean, my name is like Ametria, and that sounds like some sort of a fungus or something like that. That's why I go by Ami. But you guys I love your names. Anyway,
a lovely name. But if you prefer Ami, that's what people should call you. Most people call me Steppy. Or Sep.
Steppy. I love that. I always, that's the one thing that I really do believe in, is that if somebody is named something that they want you to call them, that's what you should call them, because otherwise it's disrespectful.
That makes sense. I know Margaret and Buford don't like any types of short names. Seymour's quite the same way. I just don't think he's ever thought of a nickname for himself. That's
I have a bunch. We had a chat the other night, and I actually came up with several options, but none of them were really good, though. So I really do like Seymour as a good name. It's like he's a larger person like myself, and so there's more to see. So Seymour.
That is a very wonderful observation. And
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and plus he's got a real kind heart, so there's even more to see in Seymour.
I like the way you think about things. And I'm sorry to interrupt. I saw that, well, I think pretty much everyone in the room unfortunately saw the interaction you had, and your mother has always been a bit known for theatrics. I do think Silas has helped calm her over the years. She's not quite as, she kind of leans over, she's not quite as big of a vindictive bitch as she used to be. But at the same time, that could be from losing a child. I don't know. Fester and I were never able to have any, so we've just kind of,
Oh,
just much like Buford and Margaret, something with the men in that family seem to not be able to have kids, and that's okay. So we didn't adopt. We've just kind of always been around Seymour. Well, the past 13 years that he's been with us, and he's a wonderful man. He was a great child. If I could possibly give you some unsolicited advice, I know events like these are never fun for anyone involved. You always have to put a smile on or do whatever, and everyone has double entendres and other intentions and other plans. There's a reason we show up to where we make sure we bring enough of us to take a full table so we don't have to deal with other people. I'll be honest with you. I would say, no matter how you feel about your mom, and I'm sure you're absolutely justified in how you feel, remember, there's someone much smaller than you who's now looking at you. So no matter what she's done, what you want to say, unfortunately, you have more important eyes on you now. And it seems like that was something by the look on your face that is new information to you, and by what you've just said is very new. But maybe think of it as a good opportunity to piss your mother off by becoming really close with your sister. And I'll be honest with you, Olivia's quite a nice child. And she just kind of gives you like a warm smile.
Can I just say, obviously after meeting you only like 2 minutes ago, you're my favorite person here right now.
Oh, well, that's very kind. Make sure you tell my...
I should rephrase that, because there are other lovely people here who I'm really good friends with. And then, of course, your nephew, who is a really good person as well. But I'm just saying, this is a kind of what I needed right now, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Make sure you tell my sister-in-law that, because Margaret always thinks I'm too much of a bitch. She deals with me though. We've become good friends. It's just taken 25 years or so, maybe 30. How long has it been now? It's been long enough. And then she'll just kind of pat your hand and she'll say, just continue to keep your head high, and remember, you're one of the family members hosting the party. You're free to roam and talk to any of the tables that you want at any time. No one will think that's rude. And she just kind of gives you a warm smile and pats your hand and is like, and I'll make sure to remind Seymour that it's okay to come up and talk to you. He's relatively shy at functions like this. It's a lot of people, and, well, he prefers to be left alone most of the time.
Can I tell you a secret? I'm not really used to this either. I mean, I don't go to these things ever. So I didn't know really what I was supposed to do. Thank goodness Olivia knew where to go and to come here, because I didn't know. And I appreciate all of your advice. Thank you.
Anytime. And please feel free to call me Auntie Seppi if you'd like, whenever. And always around. I will be over at the table, seeing if I can outdrink my brother-in-law and possibly my husband, because I hate these events. So if you see me in an hour and I'm barely coherent, it's by choice. And she'll kind of stand up pretty regally, and she's a pretty damn tall woman as well. And she kind of just, unlike Margaret, who is very short and slender, this woman is taller and I want to say whiter, but think more like muscular, if that makes sense. Like, she definitely seems kind of like she's tall, but she has like a gymnast build. Like, she looks like she's maybe a swimmer's body, if that makes sense. So she's very kind of like a built woman, and she is wearing her dress and everything, but she stands up and gives you a bit of a smile and is like, no, hold your head high, have your drink, and just fuck them. Who cares what people think? They're all a bunch of noble scum. And she just turns and starts walking off the stage, just like very confidently. Her head is held very high. There's no point in her like looking down or looking ashamed of anything. And she'll kind of make her way back to the table, and you see her sit down, and she kind of like raises her glass at you with a bit of a smile. So perfect. Okay, so who would like to go next now that we have Ami? I'm getting attacked. Please, anyone.
Siddy can go. she just has finished her first drink. She's feeling pretty good, and the tables have like name cards, right?
They do, yes.
Okay. So she's like, "Oh, Miss McGee, it is so nice to meet you. And your companion here, Mr. Bodon? Oh, so nice. You two make such a lovely couple. Oh, and Miss Freely, it is a pleasure to meet you in more happy circumstances." And she just kind of grits her teeth and is like,
IP kind of just continues drinking on her drink and looks at you and it's like, I would not call this a happy circumstance. These parties are the worst thing to go to. But lovely seeing you again, Siddy. I see you brought your whole gaggle of friends and your attorney. Lovely.
"Well, actually, we're here because of my friend Ami. This is her mother and stepfather's big party, so we're her guests. And Mr. Sterling is my guest because they were nice enough to allow me to bring one."
She just kind of nods and she's like, yes, it appears your friend Ami is having quite the time with her family's function. She just taps her ears. I have very good hearing.
"I would expect nothing less. You are quite observant. I guess you have to be in your field of work." But I guess
it's what they pay me the big bucks for, as they say.
Well, I don't have much experience with large families, and I definitely don't have any experience with noble families. So I will take everybody's word for it on if things are going good, bad, or as usual. And Siddy takes. If there's a waiter that walks by, she grabs another drink. It's like,
yep. Yeah, waiters kind of constantly move through with drinks. They're also starting to bring out food, which is like your kind of soup that they bring out, which is naturally just like a plate that has like a big ass spoon on it that has the whole soup in there. It's just like the bite because that's what they serve at these functions. So it just has like the kind of fancy looking spoon that has like, so it's like a one and done thing. And you do see IP kind of goes, well, luckily, the SWU and our other departments have tables that we go to all the noble parties at as they expect us to make an appearance since we're so well known in town. I hate that they made shows about us. We used to not be that noticed until those came around. Derek, Rowan, Siddy, Julian, Derek and Rowan, we'll just say that they are hired consultants that we do a lot of work with.
"Oh, how fun. I would love to hear about that." She looks at the soup and is like, "This looks pleasant." It's like, usually my Grandma T and I make a little more. We fill our bowls a little more when we serve, but
I think the Rowan gal kind of has already downed hers, and she's just like, it tastes good. None of this will fill you up. The whole goal is to eat as fast as you can and get the fuck out of here. That is plan at all times in these things. And Derek kind of pats her and is like, okay, let's not get a little bit, we promised that we were going to keep a good face tonight. And she's just like, I hate these functions. I hate them worse than IP does. And IP's just like, well, you two also lost the raffle, so welcome to the party. So here we are. And you will notice without any roll that IP has not touched her soup. She is just drinking what appears to be like straight scotch, probably like in a glass. Like she is just like, she looks like she doesn't want to be here in any way, shape, or form. So
what do you two do consulting for? I'm aware what Julian does and what Miss Freely does, you can.
I think Derek takes it and he's like, we help figure out things that are slightly different than what is normally come across.
Interesting. So you're like fact checkers, kind of.
Rowan just kind of laughs a bit and almost spits out her drink and is like, yep, you can call us fact checkers. That's perfect. That's a great thing to call us. That is what we do. We check facts.
That is always very important, especially in your line of work.
Yes. And Derek will say, yes, it is very important that we keep all the facts in line. That is all we do, is we just do a lot of fact checking and a lot of very boring paperwork.
Very boring, important paperwork.
Yes, always. Everything the SWU does is very important. And Julian's just kind of sitting there. Like, you can notice, like, he's twiddling with his hands, if that makes sense. Like, when people don't know what to do and they're just like, he's not playing patty cake with himself, but he's kind of like rubbing his thumbs together and like looking a little bit down. That kind of like, yeah, like a little bit like where you do like this one, where you're like trying to, like, your hands are there and you're just like the fake lotion that you're putting on. And he's just kind of, right. That soup was, well, it wasn't a lot of soup, but I thought it tasted quite nice. Did everybody like the soup who ate it? And I will say it's an amazing soup. It is not much soup at all, but it is like a very, very good, I think it's called like Italian wedding style soup or whatever. Like, it has that kind of like a little bit of pasta and like a little bit of like the meatball stuff in it and everything. And it's just like a deep spoonful of that. And he's just like, you can hear like over everything, like you can kind of hear his stomach grumbling a bit. And he's like, I probably should have eaten a bigger lunch, I think, to be ready for tonight, but that's all right. That's all right.
One of my friends in the North Coast just does this amazing little trick where she'll make like a dumpling and have the soup in the dumpling so that when you break the dumpling, it just pours out. And she's really good at it. She never taught me how to make it though. But
yeah. Sounds mighty good. We used to go, all of us, Rowan, Derek, Appy, myself, Lukewarm, after a case, we would go to this little restaurant that does, instead of a hot dish, it's a hot pot. It's where they give you like this big old pot of kind of broth that is spicy on one side or not on the other. And you put in like seafood and vegetables and kind of noodles, and then you all share it and you just pull out like big bowls of soup out of it. It's really tasty. I'm not great with the utensils. I had to use like a fork and spoon. Everyone else can use those. And I'd be like, chopsticks, Julian, chopsticks is what they're called. Chopsticks. Like, well, yes, chopsticks. I'm not a crab, so I'm not good at grabbing things like that. I try though. I just didn't. I'm better with a fork, a knife, and a spoon. But that's all right.
Well, at least you tried. That is always the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Siddy. That's very nice of you to say. And IP just looks like, please kick me like out of this room or push me off a cliff. Like, she has that look on her face. Like, she's just like, I hate everything about this. And Rowan kind of looks and is like, you could have just like gone and hid in the bathroom or done anything else. You don't have to be so dramatic. It's a night of at least free booze and then you can go home. Like, holy shit, get it together. And IP just like looks down like super irritated and just kind of starts drinking more of what you're assuming is scotch. Just kind of working on that, just looking a little bit grumbly about everything. And Julian's like, well, I'm awful excited to see what they do for the salad portion of things. I wonder if it'll just be on a big fork instead of a spoon. Might be interesting to see. Smiles at everyone. It's going great.
So. You know, well, in places like this, usually if you can get to the kitchen, you can go right through and to a loading area, and you could, what do they call them? Kind of make an Irish goodbye if you want. I don't know if that term is very well known down here, but in the north, it's pretty much when you make yourself take your leave without informing the host.
I think like everyone nods like at the same time except for Julian, and they're like, "Oh, yep. Sometimes you gotta just Irish goodbye right out of a place. You just wait till people. You gotta get through a certain amount of courses, and then most of the time you can just walk out the front door and no one notices. That's the nice thing. Once people have seen you, you just get." And Julian's like, "Right, Miss Siddy, I don't know if Ami's gonna have quite as easy of a time getting out of here early, being that she's with the family, but maybe she could do that. Maybe Liam or someone could make something happen, or who knows, your friend Charlie might start a fight at the rate she's going, because she always kind of seems to have something to say." And IB's like, "Or perhaps Everett can just start talking and piss everyone off at a table and everyone will leave the room. Anything's possible with your friends."
Well, knowing Ami, she can make herself scarce when she wants to. And I think Charlie is quite enthralled with Miss Athena, and Mr. Liam Mr. Hudson is keeping keeping Everett well entertained. So there shouldn't be any problem.
He just kind of keeps drinking, and Derek and Rowan, I think like at this point they're kind of bringing out like the salads, and it is a nice looking salad, but again, it's like one of those, like the plates like this big and the salad's like this, and it's all like the little pieces are just shaved into like this. It's more for looks, you know what I mean? And it's almost like everything's just on top of like a watercress, and like you're supposed to just like pick the water and like a whole another bite. Feeling's like, "Right, I really should have eaten more food at lunch. I'm going to have a hard time making it through this dinner if this is the amount of food they serve." And Siddy, can you roll perception for me?
Siddy wants to sneak him one of her cookies that she keeps in her purse. I don't know if it'll have any effect on him, but she wants to sneak him one.
Siddy can sneak him a cookie. What cookie are you going to hand him? I don't think you really have to sneak it. You could just hand it over if you want. Tell me what you got on perception, though, real quick.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay. It's enough. You're not 100% sure where it came from, but there's like a little folded card that is just kind of like sitting just underneath your plate enough that doesn't look exactly like it hasn't been there, is what I'm saying. Like it's a different card. It's not a name tag or anything like that.
She kind of pulls that out, but she also hands Liam a monster cookie, so it's got like M&Ms and Rice Krispies in it. And
what does this cookie do again, out of curiosity?
These are the cookies she eats before she goes fighting people.
Yeah, what is which cookie specifically are we getting is what I'm wondering, which is what is this one?
The monstrosity.
You can send me in a note, but is this, I'm wondering exactly what this specific, because we're going to roll to see what happens when he eats the cookie, because he will definitely eat the cookie.
Just a sec.
Said he might be changing up how this dinner party goes right off the bat. Okay, so call high or low?
Low.
All right, let's see what we get. Awesome. That was an 8. It just took me a second to read my numbers. So he's able to eat it and nothing happens. He just is like, "Oh, thank you, Miss Siddy. This is a really, really tasty cookie. I appreciate that a lot."
You're welcome. And she kind of looks around the table, like, trying to figure out, should I offer everybody else a cookie? She's thinking that to herself.
You will hear in your head, just, "Right. Let's not hand those out to everyone, love. Those could have some bad side effects to people around you. So maybe just the one went all right, but let's not do that, because the last thing you want is a bunch of people having moments in here and tearing the place apart. All right.
She just smiles and nods, even though she's not sure if Liam can see her.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
if it is helpful, you would be able to turn your head to the left and see Leah, because he's at the table closest to you. Like if you just look to the left, he's like right there. So perfect. Are you waiting to look at this note, by the way? It seems like it was slipped to you pretty discreetly.
She's gonna peek at it, yeah.
All right. Let me you tell him, Gary Bond. We have a snoring dog now, so the noises you might hear in the background, that's mastiff snoring. All right. Note says you need to look lower.
Peeks under the table.
Nothing is under the table. The note just says you need to look lower.
She sticks that in her tongue, like, because when she gets a chance to talk to the other lady, she will figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, Siddy, you were able to continue making it through dinner. Nothing happens. Julian Sterling did not monstrosity rage out or anything like that and start destroying the whole entire dining room. You and gentlemen, I think like Rowan and Derek are pretty good company. You can tell they're not nobles, which is nice. And neither is IP and neither is Julian. So you kind of ended up at a nice table with people. You now know that Derek and Rowan, in your mind, do fact checking for the SWU. IP does not want to be here, and she is slowly drinking herself, not into belligerentness, but she's more focused on drinking. Like she's on, like, since you've been there, you're on, I think, your third drink now, from what you can tell from when you started to now, you're on your third drink. And that this whole time she finished the one drink that you saw and just has like got a second one. So I don't want you to think she's pounding them back, but she's not really focused on food. So there's that. I think after this, from what was decided, we're going to Trekkie.
Yes, ma'am.
Winter chicken dinner. What is Charlie doing?
Staring. I think, honestly, God.
At what? Are you staring at Ami? Are you staring at Everett? Are you staring at the floor, your food, the people at the table with you?
Athena. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think because she's still trying to figure her out, and it seems like she knows everyone. Stop it. And so
I'm not digging this hole. You're digging the hole for yourself there, Charlie.
All right. Yep. She's staring at Athena.
Athena, without being rude, seems to be having a great time having conversations with the people at the table with you. I don't think I described what the people, I think I just said who you're sitting with, but I don't think I described the table that you're sitting there. So you are able to meet, if you're paying any attention, Nilandra and Dante Redgraves are there. One of them gives off kind of, you hear, you are sitting next to Dante specifically, is who you're sitting next to. This is a gentleman who has kind of very long white hair, like white, like paper white, like super white hair. And he has one eye that is just kind of like a normal color of blue, and the other eye that has like no color whatsoever. You don't know exactly if he is blind in that eye or what it is. It just has like no color, no iris, no nothing. It's just solid white, and then a normal like blue eye. From what you can maybe guess is he's probably, you don't know exactly what type, but because the one interesting thing about, they're all kind of elven, right? There's a lot of different like elf versions that you can have. You're not fully sure exactly what he is, but he does have this kind of one white eye, one eye that's blue, stark white hair, and his skin has more of like a grayish like pallor to it. And so he has like this kind of grayish, like pale skin is what he has. And he is in a very nice suit. He doesn't seem to have a lot to say. He sits pretty still most of the time, and seems to be almost in his own world if that makes sense, a lot of the time. Almost seems like he's kind of in his own world. Next to him is Nalandra, who similar but different. She also has very white hair, pale skin as well, a little bit less grayish a little bit of a less grayish tint to it, because I forgot how to speak there for a second. So we're moving on from that. She has the darkest red lipstick you have probably ever seen. It's one of those that's almost black. It's so red. And she is wearing very opposite of like what Athena's wearing. She has a lot of like silvers on, is kind of what she's got on, and they look really nice. Like she's wearing this nice kind of silver dress that is a little bit more like I think it's Everett who's got kind of the tulle going with the dress. So she's got kind of like that silvery like tulle dress for everything, and she seems to be sitting there. She's very friendly. She is nice, kind of smiles a lot. She has a bit to say. They are not necessarily elusive, but they seem to be Dante sitting next to you. You're just staring at Athena. And next to them is a gentleman named Pipi Salva, who has they're not handlebar mustaches, but that like kind of really thin Captain Hook little spiral mustache. And he has black hair that is like parted and kind of combed back a little bit, and his suit has more of a smoking jacket going on. I want you 100,000% to be thinking more of a Gomez Adams look, because that is kind of the look this man has. And I'm thinking the Raul Julia, like Gomez Adams, like he's got like a smoking kind of jacket for a suit, but he does have like a little spirally mustache, and he's sitting there. And he just is like boisterous, and he and Athena are just having conversations and like laughing like they've gone back forever. He looks different in a way that you can't quite put your finger on, which is strange. And one thing about him is he has these eyes that are like gold. And I mean, like the color, like almost like melting gold is kind of like the way his eyes look at all times. Like the irises don't stay still. They don't move themselves, but like the color in them kind of rolls through gold wise. And he seems to be having the greatest time. Like he and Athena are just old friends, and they're kind of laughing and telling jokes with one another. And it's not that like the Redgraves look uncomfortable by any means. They just almost seem like they don't have as much to say about things. They kind of every now and again turn and speak with one another and stuff like that, but it's nothing super dramatic. That is what's been happening at your table. Athena is not ignoring you in any way, shape, or form. She somehow is able to continue on these conversations. And like every now and again, you just like, she kind of gives you like a little hand squeeze or something like that to make you feel like you're not kind of sitting there by yourself or anything. But she does seem to be carrying the conversation quite well at the table as you're just staring at her.
Yes, Charlie is staring at her, and like, I think taking cues is the thing, because she said you lead. And so I think after a while and like them joking and everything, she would try and stay on task. And she would just say, so I don't really know too much about your family, Mr. Redgrave. What do y'all do in the city?
And he just kind of like does that weird, like slow motion, like turn his head to you kind of thing, and do like the little bit of a head tilt. And just goes, what an interesting question to start with. Dante is my name. This is my sister, Nalandra. And you are again?
My name is Charlie Blackwood, and I own a shop in town, so I'm just trying to meet new people.
And he kind of sits there and thinks, and you kind of see him think a little bit, and he's almost unsettling to look at, because the one eye is just, like I said, like just so white. And so even though he's able to like look at you a bit. Like, you don't fully know if he's looking at you the whole time, is what's kind of uncomfortable about it. You can't 100% tell where he's always looking, because the side that he's faced is like the full white eye that's at you. And he kind of does like this weird half smirk, and he's like, Blackwood, we remember that name, don't we? And Melandra goes, oh, yes, we remember that name quite well. And he just kind of sits there for a minute. And he goes, Blackwood, what a powerful name that just disappeared. And she stops and she goes, oh, very powerful name. Yes, but did they disappear? He just says, well, they couldn't have fully disappeared if we have a Blackwood in front of us. And then she goes, no, maybe they were hidden for quite some time. And he just stops and he goes, perhaps it's something that warrants further looking into. And she goes, perhaps there's more secrets that we haven't learned yet, that now's our time to learn them. What do you think? And he just stops and he's like, we do love secrets, don't we? Everyone loves a good secret. And then they both kind of look at you at the exact same time. And like in unison, they both just say, do you want to tell us your secrets, Charlie? Can you just make me a Constitution saving throw really quick?
Oh no! Fuck. No, I don't want to tell you my secrets. Fuck off. Holy shit. Okay. I guarantee that I fail with a 10.
Yep. I was going to say you were looking for a 14. You don't say anything at all. Like, you don't say anything whatsoever. Well, I mean, they just want to know your secrets, Charlie. But you feel the weirdest thing happening. You feel like someone's touching threads in your brain, if that makes sense, is the only way that I can describe it. It feels like someone is just like pulling on things, and you kind of feel like someone is rummaging around through your head like it is a grocery bag that they are looking for things in. And this whole time you are just like enthralled, because it seems like both their eyes are just like fully white now, and it is just like impossible to look away from. You are just like, it is the most unique thing that you have ever seen. And you can kind of feel like someone is just like rummaging around in there. And as you feel like, when you're looking for something in like your backpack or your purse or whatever you carry, and you finally find it and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. And like you grab onto it, like you feel someone like grab onto something and start pulling. And all of a sudden, like, you snap right back to yourself, and you just see Athena like looking really close to your face and being like, oh, darling, have you had too much to drink? Should we perhaps go get you some water?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. Will you excuse us all?
Yes. Wonderful. You head right over there, and I'll be there in just half a second. Just a quick little moment. I just have to grab something back from my friend.
She gets up and leaves.
Perfect.
Can I look back?
Yeah, you can look back.
I want to watch.
I don't know why that just... the way that came out was really aggressive. I want to watch. I'm like, she's not going to murder everyone. Like, chill out. Sure, yeah. You just walk on a little ways away and then turning back to like, well, I was like, I'm not going to kill everyone at this table. You're at a dinner party. Like, it's not going to be that exciting. I will make you roll like perception to see how much you can hear of what's being said. Okay. You'll be able to see, but I'll make you roll to know how much you actively hear.
No.
Did you get a nat 1 or what'd you roll?
A 10 again.
Okay. You won't pick up much. You'll be able to kind of see things. Athena does not look tense at all. And the gentleman that she was laughing with, they seem to be having just like a wonderful time. And she's like reaching into like her little clutch. Like now she has a clutch. No one, you don't know where the fuck it came from because she didn't have one before. But she's like opening like a little clutch and like kind of rummaging through. And her friends seem to be having like the absolute best like conversation and just laughing. But the one thing I will say, you can't overhear what's being said, but you are able to notice that two Redgraves that you were just talking to seem to be frozen, and the looks on their face looks like faces of extreme terror in every way, shape, or form, as she and her friend are just kind of laughing with one another. And you're able to notice, like without anything, that like black stuff starts running out of like both of their eyes. And then she like leans over and like gives her friend that she was talking to with these wild gold eyes like a kiss on the cheek as they're both just laughing, and kind of turns and like walks over and is like, oh, sorry, darling, I forgot my cigarettes. And as you see her walk over, you notice that like the two of them are able to start moving again. And they look, thank you, Gary. They both look very confused and are kind of like dabbing at their eyes as the person who was sitting there with those kind of weird gold eyes is now talking with them, like laughing. And it takes them a minute, but it seems like they start laughing as well. Like they're having a fun joke with one another, and everyone's enjoying themselves at the table. And she's like, come, let's get water. Oh, or we could get another drink. Oh, I hear there's a lovely balcony outside if you would like to go out there with me. You looked like you needed fresh air.
Listen, I don't believe that you were just forgetting something, but I do appreciate the assist and the save. Let's go outside.
Wonderful. Follow me. We'll go to a lovely balcony. And also, Charlie, I told you I was happy to help you. I just also said that we have to learn to trust one another. That's all. And she'll kind of lead you towards the outside, which is not far away. Like you're not leaving the whole thing. There's kind of the one side with the paintings and stuff, and you can see where some of the curtains are hanging. You can walk a little ways around, and it opens into what is a really nice balcony. Like this is an estate. It is not just a mansion. This is fucking massive. We're talking like noble castle size massive. I don't know if this pool will click for anyone but me, but I'm thinking like the Biltmore House in Asheville, North Carolina. This is a house that is insane. It's the Vanderbilt's house. And now it's just literally a museum because they have like Napoleon's chess table in there and tapestries by Leonardo da Vinci because the Biltmores were rich. They built the house in the 1800s and had a working bowling alley and an indoor swimming pool and a working elevator. Loaded people money. It's been in a lot of movies. The balconies are very famous because they're huge and they have like these giant lion like statues carved into them and stuff. So you end up on this massive balcony that is like, it's big. The ceilings are like 25 feet above you. And it is just this huge kind of stone that overlooks just like sprawling vineyards and gardens and stuff that are all quite beautiful. And she does, as she says, she like lights a cigarette and just kind of sits there and is like, oh, it absolutely is a lovely night, isn't it?
Yes, the weather is lovely. I think the night in general is confusing.
Oh, you're going to have to learn to live a little, Charlie. There's so many things in the world that you have yet to experience. Also, you really need to work on some of your spell work. Maybe look at Counterspell. It will benefit you a lot, just so you're aware. All I did was my friend and I explained that it is not polite to cast magic on someone at a dinner table, no matter how important you think their name is.
I do appreciate that because that was quite an experience that I've never had before and did not appreciate that at all.
Were they able to get anything from you? Do you feel like something's missing in your head? Would you like me to check?
How do you check? I guess is the question.
She just smiles at you. How would you like me to check?
I mean, do you see just a hole, or do you see all of the memories?
Oh, well, I'm not going to root around in your brain unless we trust one another to do that, because that's quite rude. That's why I ask if you think you're missing something. If not, it would involve me feeling around to see if something's missing, and that's quite invasive. And I would never want to do that to you.
How can I tell if something is missing myself?
I've never had it done on me, but from what I understand, you'll try and think of something, and it's like when you forget a word. It'll be there, but you just can't get it. So I think you'll know. Like, does it feel like there's a hole in your brain?
Does it? Does it feel like there's a hole in the brain?
It does not.
Okay. I think she stands there for a few minutes and like stares at her. It's a lot of staring tonight. Stares at her and like roots around and no, I don't think they got anything, but that's maybe later you can check once we get to know each other a little bit more, because I don't really know if I trust myself completely, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. It is a lovely night.
Oh, it is quite nice. Well, would you like a drink to just kind of unwind? And we'll take a few minutes out here, then we can head back inside. Eventually, I will probably have to let Morty back around you, but I told him that you needed a bit of space because I didn't think that you would do well handling all of the ghosts inside this house yelling at you all night long. So I thought I'd buy you some time. Not that Morty's not lovely. It's not what I'm saying. I just thought you needed a little break.
A little break. Is he? Can you see him right now? Like, is he here?
Well, I mean, he's just waiting to come when we call him. He's just back at the shop.
Ah, okay. I didn't know if he came or not because of the necklace, and yeah.
You don't have the necklace on, darling. Your friend Everett has your necklace. That's me. She kind of just boops you on the nose. I'm the one giving you the break from Ghost.
I can't quite figure you out, just so you know, and it's very vexing. And I can't figure out what you want from me, if that makes sense. I mean, I know we've talked a lot about trust and communication, but there's always something that people want.
Oh, well, yes, there are many things that I want in this world. One of them is I want you to deal with your mother. I was quite clear about that, but we said that we needed to trust each other before we talked about that. I don't think I've lied to you. No, I haven't. Not yet. And I'll tell you if I do.
Well, that's good to know. You are a very interesting person.
She just kind of smiles and like leans over the balcony as she's smoking and just like starts drinking a drink and sits like one next to her. And she's like, you're more than welcome to drink that if you would like, and we can take a break out here. And also, Charlie, darling, I am not a person. That's what makes me so fun. And then we're going to jump over to Everett and Liam sitting inside. You are at a table with the Philanders. It is not a tense table. I don't want you to get that vibe. It is a little bit different because there's a drow there, and in drow culture, it is a female-led culture, and men are not highly thought of. So Samantha and Deanna are, from what you picked up, a married couple. Interesting enough, Felix and Deanna are siblings. They are half gnome, half halfling, is what their family is. And so that was why it was just a little bit difficult to pick up right away. Deanna and Samantha met when Samantha left kind of the drow to come out of the Underdark, which isn't always there, but we, that's kind of where she decided to leave. And so that's something that drow does every now and again. And so you were there with Liam. What are you doing?
She is still playing the part. So she's doing the small talk of like, "Oh, my name is Everett. It's such a pleasure to meet you. How do you know Liam? You seem like you know each other quite well."
Deanna and Felix look a little bit like generally nice and happy to talk about it. And they inform you, Deanna says, "Oh, yeah, got into some legal trouble years ago. My brother and I did. And Liam helped us out of it. We weren't guilty. This was not people buying their way into the court of law. My brother was accused of fraud, and he did not commit the fraud. And so Liam was able to help us out, and we've just kept in touch through parties like this ever since then."
Good. Yes, he is very good at getting people out of spots of trouble. And she is doing the thing that actually I do with people that I am comfortable with, which is there's so much like innocuous touching of just like when she dresses him, like puts her hand on his shoulder or even on his knee. You guys haven't met me in person, but I do that a lot, so I apologize in advance.
Are you randomly staring at him like Charlie was with Athena, just staring, unblinking eye contact? Just
no. She makes eye contact with whoever is speaking to her, but she will constantly like look at him and check in. Because I also know that he is not super thrilled to be here, but she's just trying to play like I said, play the part. So I'm trying to think. What would she know about the Philanders besides what was in the book? Would she know anything about this noble family?
You roll history, and I can tell you. You knew with advantage, actually, because of something specific that you'll know.
Oh, I rolled poopy caca. That's 13.
You'll know a little bit about them. You would know specifically that the Min and the Philanders family have a tendency to end up making bad deals on things. They, not necessarily Felix, maybe father or cousin for sure, has been known to frequent certain parts of town for specific flavors that are different than for everyone, more like possibly where you could find like gambling dens, or maybe you could hire a date for the evening, so on and so forth. And so you know that the men have a tendency to do that. And there have been rumors that you would have heard that has gotten them in trouble more often than not. Whereas you don't know much really about Deanna or her wife. They lay a lot lower. Being married to a drow on the surface is not always fully like smiled upon by certain people, especially in noble houses. While there are noble drow houses, you don't have as many like on the surface level, right? It's not as common. So you wouldn't probably know as much about them, but you do know that the men in this family have a reputation. So you'd probably be one to lean on the idea that Felix might have actually had fraud happen, or that might just be what they sold the sister on having happened, and maybe borrowed money from someone that he shouldn't have borrowed money from them, or things like that. They haven't fully squandered the Philanders' fortune, but the house isn't in the standing that it once was. And they are probably out of the houses that you've met in here, or that you've heard of that are in here. They are probably the ones that you would know just from some of your background are in the more financial hole than some of the other families are, if that makes sense, due to some bad choices on certain people's parts.
Can I ask, do I know this through, which persona do I know this through?
I would say you would know this through Desiree probably the most, and through Styx, because Styx knows through all, right?
Right,
But
right.
I would say like this would be a Desiree kind of frontier of experience would be knowing about the Philanders.
Okay. All right. So she will file that information away, and she will kind of plead ignorance of just like, I'm not particularly familiar with your family name. What do you do in the city, if you don't mind my asking?
I think Samantha kind of speaks up and she's like, well, it depends. My wife and I have a few business ventures. Nothing too intense here. We do some consulting and some design work, and for the city's redevelopment, we helped with that. My wife and her family come from a long line of wizards, her brother being one as well. I focus more on the making things and designing things, and my wife has a lovely eye for interior design and decorating and kind of oversees that. And Deanna's just like kind of playing with her food, which is not a lot of food. I think by now, like you guys have probably made it, like you're not all the way through, but you've gone past main course, which was like a piece of fish on top of like some vegetables, or like a piece of steak or something on top of, like, it was once again on like a spoon type of setup. It was tiny. You haven't got, for the amount of food they've been bringing out plate wise, no one has eaten much food at all. And so you would notice, you need to roll for this, like the whole time, like Samantha does not like even look over at Felix at all. Like she won't even look his way. Like she will look at Liam and stuff, but she won't look like towards Felix. And Deanna kind of looks more like she's not like full head down, but she doesn't look as happy to like talk about the family. And Liam just seems like he's having just the most relaxed evening of all time. He is just kind of drinking his drink and sitting there, and every now and again he'll kind of chime in and be like, oh, Samantha, you undersell yourself so much. You have done some of the best new design work that the city's had. You had a great just jump on knowing such a great layout that would happen to really clean up the town after such a horrible incident. You were so quick with being able to design that and land those contracts, weren't you? And she just kind of smiles and she's like, well, I'm quite proud of my ability to move quickly when need be. And he's like, right, yes, always moving fast. I mean, I don't know if there was another party out there that was able to think of how to quickly redo such a massive area of the city center as you were. It's quite lovely. Be proud of yourself.
What part of the city center would I know?
And Deanna just kind of twiddles her thumbs a bit, and she's like, yeah, we did a lot of the city design and development after the cataclysm happened, was really what kind of made our firm well known.
There it is. She doesn't say that. That's weird, but there it is.
I was going to say, she just says that out loud, and everyone's like,
she's accused.
Where'd the accent go? So yes, so that is kind of what you gather from them. And it is for you and Liam, I think out of everyone, it is a relatively calm dinner. Like you're most of the way through dinner. The only thing I think everyone would be able to notice pretty easily is Ami, Silas, and Olivia have returned. Windeer still has not. And you are all kind of at the point that dessert is happening. And the last like anyone knew would be Ami, that Windeer said she was going to the bathroom. Okay.
So I turn to Silas and say, Windeer had to use the facilities a little bit ago. I believe it's probably a bit my fault. Mr. Silas, sir, I will apologize to you for bringing up what I did, but I do hope you understand. Everything tonight has kind of caught me at a bad showing because of knowledge I didn't have, and I do apologize for that, and I hope that everything is good with Olivia. And if you would, mind, or wouldn't mind, I guess I should say, if she was allowed to come with me sometime. I mean, not necessarily to any construction site, but I could take her to, well, we could talk about it. I don't want to talk about our plans, especially like what you may or may not want if in front of her. So yeah, I just want to say I apologize for that, and I thank you for inviting me and letting my friends come too.
He kind of jumps at that last one, but nods, and it's like, you don't have anything to apologize for, Ami. I know the history with you and your mother is not good. She's spent a lot of years working on herself, and I know you don't see it yet, but she's a lot better than she was. She had some hard stuff in life that she went through, and she has written you. She wrote you a lot of letters for a long time. She just threw them in the fireplace because she couldn't send them. But she did try, and I think she does want to start over after losing Herbert. You don't have to. That's your right to say no. But I think that she does at least want to try. Maybe for Olivia's sake, maybe for mine. Maybe just, I don't think it's to save face because, your mother, and if she doesn't like someone, she won't be around them. But it is strange that she hasn't come back yet. Normally she would have come in and made an entrance. So I should check on her, or someone should check on her. And with Olivia, I know your business. You're not going to take her anywhere dangerous. I'm not worried about that. She would be happy to go, as she said, kick or punch a wall down. Just make sure it's not like concrete. I don't think she can punch through that. But
no, I would not allow that. I know kids are gentle kids are dainty as far as like breakability wise. So yeah.
Olivia leans her head forward. I'm not dainty. I could totally kick through a wall. Chow! And like she accidentally kicks the table, and she's like, "Sorry about that, Dad." It's like, it's all right. We'll just go there.
See, I saw that table asked for it, I think.
See, she gets it. And he'll just be like, all right. And so like, it's been a long time that Windeer's been gone though, which I don't understand. I might need to go check on her if that's okay, or because can you be with Olivia while I go try and see what's happening?
We could try and figure out some other stuff that we could do outside of attacking walls.
And she's like, we could attack people. Pow! Just kind of sitting there like, if they're bad people, I've read those books where the hero beats up the bad guys. Pow!
Yeah.
And then she'll sit there, and he'll kind of give you like a little pat on the shoulder and say, not like to her, just like a quick like kind of pat where he puts his hand there and says, thank you for watching her briefly. Your mother didn't want any nannies of any kind. She wanted us to make sure she was raised by us. I'll be back. And kind of makes his way down the hallway over towards what you think is the bathroom. And I mean, you kind of hear this first as you hear him be like, what? And you like as you hear like crying and kind of screaming, and this one being like, sir, it wasn't me. I walked in and it was just there. I don't know what to say. It was just there. I don't know how it happened at all. I didn't have anything to do with it though, sir. I promise. I'm just here for work. I just went in to clean up. I don't know what happened. Please. And Ami, like as you kind of turn to see behind you, there is a woman standing in the hallway that just is covered from like blood, like head to toe, and just like looking. She's like, I didn't have anything to do with it. I promise, please. I promise I didn't do this. You have to believe me. And he kind of, you see Silas kind of like move past her and like look in to like the right and like turn back, and he's like, "What the fuck did you do to my wife?"
Thank you for tuning into Good Plans, Bad Dice. This series stars Sassypants as Ametria, Ami, Bella Chathorn, Mossgrove, Squishy Werewolf as Obsidian, Siddy, Schmidt, Trekkie for Life 01 as Charlie Blackwood, Weird Is All I've Got as Everett, and Lurking Sam as the Dungeon Master. Good Plans, Bad Dice would like to thank Squishy Werewolf for the artwork. Our music is provided by No Copyright Songs. The track is Help Me, Help You by Shia Maisel and Clarks and can be found at ncs.io or at their NCS YouTube channel. Thank you again for listening. Be sure to check us out live on Twitch Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time or on video on demand after the live broadcast